Anybody here? We're going to wait. Shelly told me to wait a few minutes or 30 seconds or something before I started talking too much. All right. In the chat, can you hear me in the chat? Tell me. Good morning, Miss Sharon. I was watching the chat. Mike with our shepherds and Michael have been chatting it up, talking about swapping an engine, all kinds of fun stuff. So, Forrest, good morning. All right, we got a 5x5. I appreciate it. I got some kind of croup today in drainage. Let me see. Chantal, good morning. Yeah, Shelly told me, she was like, don't start the live. When the live starts, don't start talking right then because it's got like a 30-second deal before it clicks up and all this stuff. So you sit here and kind of look weird for 30 seconds or something. So, all right. Good morning, Bill. How are you? So I heard y'all, everybody was talking and doing some chat stuff, talking about gardening and all that stuff. So I'll tell you, I will be glad when this week's almost over. And then next week we're going to be live. Let me look at the schedule. I've got my handwritten schedule. All right. Today is the 27th. I'll tell you the 30th. The 30th, William Bond, permaculture consultant, is going to be on live with Shelly and I. That'll be Monday night. And then the 3rd, which is Thursday, Mike will be on with us for doing land navigation. Mike's going to be there teaching land navigation and stuff like that at the festival. So he's going to be on with us. And then he's also written a book. And I left the book upstairs. I ordered it. I'll bring it down Tuesday and show y'all. I might just bring it down Monday and show you. But it's a pretty good book. It's the Edge of the Preface. I don't know. Hell, I'll bring it down. Y'all can read the front of it. Good morning, Michael Osborne. Good morning, Mike Shepard. Mike Shepard's on his way to help me this morning. Me and Mike are going to do some work. Hopefully nothing too hard. But, yeah. So, guys, we've got, the first, which is going to be, I got to look at my calendar. All right. The first, which is Tuesday. So Tuesday night, we're going to do a short live and give away the refuge class for people that bought tickets in June. And you've got another 3 days. If you hadn't got your tickets, you got 3 days to get your ticket to win a spot in the refuge class. We're going to do that giveaway July 1st. And then Wednesday, July 2nd, we're going to be on with Bobby and Patrick from Midwest Preparedness. And then we're also going to be on Nicole from Self-Reliance Festival will be on with us too. So we're going to do that. And then Thursday, we're going to have Mike on to talk about land navigation and the festival. I need to watch Miss Sharon's shorts on the garden. Hatfield Homestead, good morning. Yeah, it has been a hot minute since you've been in here. So guys, like I said, you've got 3 more days to pick up your festival tickets to get entered to win the last spot in the refuge class. So if you want to try to get a spot in it, buy your tickets before the end of the month, and you'll be registered to win that. We're going to give it away on the 1st. And talking about the tickets, I've got the website open, and before I got on here, I started looking because it can tell you when people purchase tickets and stuff like that. It tells typically their address or at least what state they're coming from. Guys, we've got people coming. The farthest one I saw was, I think, Minnesota. I saw a bunch of Minnesota. I saw a guy from Colorado's coming. So we got somebody coming from Colorado. Churn Dash Farm, good morning. Glad to have you here. But, yeah, we got some people coming from Colorado, Arkansas, Mississippi, Georgia. I think there's a couple from Michigan. There's a lot of people coming from Kentucky since we're in Kentucky. A ton of people coming from Tennessee. So, guys, don't think if you're just like, oh, I'm from Georgia and I'm not going to meet anybody from there. I won't meet anybody. I guarantee you will meet somebody from Georgia. I know you'll meet Jay Addison because Jay's going to be there. So yes, Mike, in Canada, we've got another Canadian coming. This will be our second Canadian that we've had at the festival. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, guys, it's going to be good. We're probably going to have a lady coming in from I think it is South Dakota. So we're going to have to see about that. But guys, it's going to be an awesome time. I just got done yesterday editing. We're bringing one. Yeah, Mike. We just got done, or I just got done shooting a video for Pure Bag water filters. I don't have, well, I've got, this is their, the Pure Bag Micro. I've got it sitting on the desk and a couple pieces with it. But I just got done shooting a video for Pure Bag water filters and trying it out. Finished editing it yesterday. I'm going to let the guys wanted to look over it first before I send it out. It's going to be a good video. We're going to start carrying Pure Bag water filters on the website. So I'm going to shoot that video out. I hope this weekend I can get all their stuff up on the website. That's my goal. So if I can get it up on the website, I will let y'all know when it's there, and then we'll release the video. So, all right. Also, I'm looking at my notes of what Bill, let me see. Miss Sharon, don't expect anything fancy on my channel. Hey, Miss Sharon, I don't do anything fancy. My editing sucks on videos. Honestly, I hate doing it, but it's one of those necessary evils. And Bill says, fancy doesn't matter to me. The skills you possess are living proof through your plants. Exactly. So, work. What was it? Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. Tuesday, the plumbers came to hook up the tub. And on this job, it's one of the freestanding bathtubs that everybody wants. Honestly, I despise these freestanding bathtubs because they're just a pain in the butt to put in. But this one was a two-piece one. It had an outer shell that you set where you wanted and screwed it to the floor. And then the inner part would slide down in there, which is cool. It hides all your drain and hides all your water lines and all that stuff. But the bad thing is, if you have to do anything to it, you have to pull that outer shell out and leave enough room or leave enough slack with your water lines to where you can do something on it. We get everything hooked up, slide it in there, turn the water back on. The plumber's like, I'm going to go underneath and hook the drains up and hook the water lines up. So he's doing that. He's like, I got it ready. He said, turn the thing on. Let's try it. So I turn it on. He's like, there's a stinking leak. And I'm like, crap. So he gets his little bore snake light and is looking in there, finds where it's at. So we have to pull the tub back out, tighten a couple connections on there, and they're an absolute pain to get to. We spent another 2 hours or something like that messing with this tub. And he's like, this is why I hate these freestanding tubs. They're just an absolute pain in the butt to mess with. So that was my Tuesday. I was not super excited about that. So, but the tub is in. The lady loves the tub. She told me, she's like, I can't wait to use it tonight because she absolutely loves tubs, is what she told me. And she's like, I hadn't had a tub in a month. And I'm like, you've got your tub and it's set and ready to go. So, and then Wednesday night, I was on with Tactical Response. You can go check it out. It's on Tactical Response's YouTube channel. I did a live with Kayla from Tactical Response. It was a pretty good time. We talked a little bit about the festival. Talked mainly, honestly, about the charity auction that we're doing for Caleb House. And that's another thing. Saturday night, we've got the auction for Caleb House. There are a ton of stuff that's going to be up for grabs at that auction. I am super excited about that. And it's like I've said, I'm going to be buying some of the stuff probably, or at least bidding on it. And hey, today, topic-wise today, I've kind of quit doing the news. Y'all can go read the news, interpret yourself. If something major comes up, I'll talk about it. Today's topic, I don't know if you saw in the description. We're going to talk about generators. So if you've got any generator questions, stick them in the comments and we'll answer them. I am by no means an expert on generators, but I know a decent amount about them. So, and then Bill says, the only freestanding tubs I like are the old cast iron clawfoots. Yes, those are cool. Michael Hamilton got one to do here. Oh, what? A freestanding tub, Michael? But yeah, Bill, I like the older cast iron ones. I like the last one we put in at my mother-in-law's house. It was an actual cast iron one piece bathtub, and it had the external to where you could see it, the filler and controls, and then the handheld thing. Everything was exposed, so it was not near as bad to put in. But I tell you, the downside of it, I think that thing weighed 400 pounds is what that tub weighed. And getting it through the house, through the doors and all that kind of stuff was an absolute nightmare. But once it was there, it was easy to hook up. Yes, Miss Sharon, it's Tactical Response Crew is that YouTube channel. So, Michael, you got one. I feel sorry for you. They're not fun. So watch some videos on it. If you don't know how to hook one up, watch some videos on it. There's a lot that goes into that, and I'm glad my plumber did most of the stuff. I just helped him get it in there and pick it up and help do a few things. I didn't hook any of the fittings up. I can do it, but he was there, and that's his job. Michael, for my wife. So good luck on that, Michael. All right. Generators. I know most everybody has one. I've got several generators. They're awesome to have. I think everybody needs some kind of generator if you're into the preparedness or the homesteading. And I know a lot of people have generators just because they live in a place where the power goes out quite a bit. Luckily, where we're at, we have very few power outages, and most of the time, and when I say power outages, I mean nothing to deal with emergencies, tornadoes, stuff like that, but just typical power outages. You hear a lot of places, they just got power outages for a day for really no reason. We'll get some every now and then, and typically it's if it's somebody hits a tree or hits a telephone pole, knocks a transformer out, but they're real quick to get that fixed. So every now and then, it's very, very rare. Very, very rare that we'll have a long power outage more than like an hour or so. So generators are awesome to have. I've actually got 4 generators down in the shop. I use my biggest one. I'll take and use it on jobs if we need it. If we don't have power or something like that, I'll take it to the job site and we can use it. Or if we've got a job site with no power, we'll take it out there. So, but your different types of generators, your big types of generators, you've got a gas generator, you've got diesel generators, you've got propane / natural gas generators, and then of course you got your solar generators, which solar generators really are not generators, they're just a battery. So, but we'll let it slide on that. And so as far as you've got essentially kind of 4 different types, those are kind of fuel things. You've got portable generators, your inverter style, your standby, like your whole house ones, and your solars. So most people are going to have a portable generator, like you go buy at Lowe's or something like that. You know, your Sportsman or your Honda, whatever like that. The nice thing about it is portability. I mean, it's pretty easy to move around, especially if you've got a wheel kit for it. 2 of mine have a wheel kit and 2 of mine don't on there. You're going to have common fuel. Most of the ones you go buy at Lowe's, Home Depot are going to be gasoline, or they're going to be a tri-fuel, as far as they can run off natural gas or propane or gasoline. Most of them you just have to change out something on the carburetor to do it. I know I've got one dual fuel that will run on gasoline or propane. They're easy to store. I mean, with a wheel kit, with a wheel kit, you can wheel those things around. They don't take up a ton of space. So, and actually, they're fairly affordable. I mean, some of the generators. Let's pull up. Let's pull up Lowe's just for fun. Let's pull up Lowe's website and check out some generators. All right, portable generators. All right. Here's a Champion. I've got a Champion. I like them. We got a Champion 4,500 watt for $549. That's a reasonable price for a generator. Of course, they've got some others for $899, $1,500, $1,000. They've got one in here for $382. I mean, then they got a tri-fuel Champion for $601, 5,000 watt. That's not horrible. So, but yeah, and you got your portable generators, technically what you can go buy at Lowe's kind of thing. The only downside is they're pretty stinking loud. So you might, if you want to do some OPSEC, you might want to build like a something for it to set in. Or I've seen actually people put mufflers on those. I'm kind of scared with putting a muffler on it to something, it might not make it run right, it might mess it up. I would probably build a shed and do that to where it kind of muffles the sound. There's a lot of stuff on the internet that you can do with that. So then you got your inverter type. Essentially, your inverter type are going to have the same stuff as your portable generators. They're just using an inverter to produce the power. They're quieter, they're more fuel efficient, and they're safe for your electronics. The downside on those, they're a lot more expensive too than just your regular old construction gas generators. Then you've also got your standbys. And I've made all kinds of notes on this so I wouldn't forget stuff, because if I don't make notes, I just go all over the place. I'm talking about different types of generators, what size you need, why you need it, and all that. So I make notes and to keep myself in line. So standby generators, those are your whole house generators, like you've seen your Generacs that are sitting outside somebody's house that are typically, they're hooked to propane or natural gas. The downside on that is they're stinking expensive. I mean, they're a good amount of money investment on that. One of the other cons too is it's not portable. If you need that generator somewhere else, that whole house generator is there and stuck, and you're not going to move it. Typically, they've got an auto start on them, so when the power goes out, those jokers will kick on pretty quick. It's within a few seconds that they'll kick on and start giving you power to the house. They're usually propane or natural gas, and they're expensive. So then you've got your solar generators. The solar generators are really not a generator. They're just a battery with plugs, essentially. They're not producing anything unless they're hooked up to solar panels, and then they're actually producing some power. The nice thing about it, they're silent. When you're running those solar generators, they're silent. Or sometimes there's a little bit of a fan to it just to cool everything, but nobody's going to hear it from more than 15, 20 feet away. They're limited output. I mean, I know they keep coming out. I've got the Anchor Solex. It's the 3800. It will run. Some of the guys tested it at Grindstone. Grindstone's got one also. And Kyle told me that they use it sometimes to run a full-size refrigerator, and it would go a little over 2 days or better running a full-size refrigerator. And this refrigerator was sitting in a trailer. It wasn't sitting inside an air-conditioned space. So that's pretty stinking good with that. But I know Jackery's come out with a real big one. And I know some of the bigger guys have come out with bigger solar generators. And, of course, you can buy the battery packs with it too. But they're still expensive. I think that Anchor that I've got is about $3,800, something like that. So, excuse me, they're expensive. and then the limited output on it. You're going to get way more out of your 5,000 watt generator than in a tank of gas than you're ever going to get out of that solar generator. So let me see comments. Oh, Bill says the generator I have now, we bought when we had an ice storm in Oregon and we were out of power for 2 weeks. Yeah, we've had some ice storms here and people have been out of power without, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. And luckily, when we've had the ice storms here, we've only been without power for a day, maybe 2 days. So it's not been anything horrible since I've been in this house. I remember back, I think it was 95, we had a big ice storm when I was still in high school and people were out of power for a long, long time on that. And then Bill says, that's my next power backup. It's going to be a solar power bank. Hey, I tell you, I was not a big fan of these solar generators when they first came out. I'm like, it's a battery with, some plugs in a box. But after using that Anchor, I like it. The one I've got, I said, is a 3800 model. And I've got 400 watts of solar panels with it. So you can take it, set it outside when the sun's shining, charge that thing all day, bring it back in, and then you should have a full deal to use. And I mean, it'll run. It's actually, that one's got a 220 volt plug on it. I don't know how long it's going to do anything at 220. It might get your well up and going for a little bit, but I know it's going to drain it pretty quick if you're using it on 220. Then L2 Survive, propane doesn't go bad. No fuel stabilizer needed. Exactly. That is my preferred method. The only way the propane is something's going to happen with your propane is if you've got a leak in one of the tanks. That's the only way that the propane is going to go bad. It's going to be good from here to eternity. You don't have to worry about any kind of special special ways to store it, anything like that. If you're going to store your 20-gallon propane tanks, man, those things can just set and set and set. They're going to be perfectly fine. And I mean, with propane, you can do, tons of different stuff. You can run your furnaces in your house, all that, and you can go anywhere from a 20-gallon, gas grill tank all the way up to a 2,000-gallon residential tank that you can bury and nobody will ever know it's there. But getting on as far as the fuel stuff, we'll cover some fuel here in just a minute. Miss Sharon, we have problems with water. Always a boil water advisory. They will just not replace the old pipes. Yeah, there's one of the counties next to me. They've got a boil advisory all the time, it seems like. And it's like, why do they not just go ahead and just fix all that stuff? Yeah, Mike from our Shepherds, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button for me. Morning, Demo Man Don. Glad to have you here. Let's see what else. L2 Survive. Use a generator to charge up the solar generator when everybody else is using their generators and run silent at night. Exactly. That's one of the cool things you can do is do that. I'm going to work down in the shop on getting a bunch of I want to do a whole battery bank down in the shop and check it out and get it fixed. I want to do one down in the shop. I want to do one here in the house in the basement. We're working on that right now. It's just time and money and trying to get all of it together. But yes, L2 Survive, use the generator to charge that. And yeah, anytime you've got your gas or your diesel generator running, have as much stuff. If you need to charge cell phones, if you need to charge some other stuff, charge your laptop, anything like that, plug those jokers in, charge those things while you're doing that, and charge your solar generators up. If you've got multiple ones, charge those jokers while you're running that generator. And then Michael Osborne, we have a 15K whole house backup on a 350-gallon dedicated tank. It won't run everything in the house at the same time, but it keeps our house warm and the refrigerator's running. Exactly. Miss Sharon, thank you a bunch for putting in all these links. And the last one she put in is the link for the live that Dayton was on with Shelly and I last night, talking about lock picking and restraint, escape, and all that good stuff. But going back to your fuel types, the major ones, you've got gas, diesel, propane, and natural gas. I've got, like I said, I've got 4 generators here at the house. I've got 2 of them are gasoline, and then one of them is gasoline and propane. It's a dual fuel, so you can run it with gasoline or propane. And then I've got a solar generator also, a couple of those. And then it's a single cylinder ONA. Hey, look, Dayton's in here, Ballistic Mischief. Yeah, and Dayton is a pretty interesting guy. I enjoyed talking to him last night. It was a good live. I can't wait to meet him in person. Shelly met him in person in Ohio, but I haven't met him in person yet, but I'm super excited to. But all right, back to the fuel types. Then I've got one is a military generator. It's a military diesel generator. It's a single cylinder ONA diesel. And that little joker, I read all the specs on it. When it's running at 75% capacity, it drinks 1/3 of a gallon per hour in diesel. So you could run that thing at 75% for 3 hours on 1 gallon of diesel fuel. Granted, it's a smaller generator. It's only running, I think it's a 3,500 watts. So you're not going to run your whole house. You're not going to run tons of stuff. But I've plugged a lot of stuff up to that joker and have not been disappointed with it. So we got that. And then I've got my solar generators here too. Gas on my gas generators and small engines. I always run non-ethanol fuel just because I don't have to worry about it eating any fuel lines, gunking the carburetor up, anything like that. So I run non-ethanol fuel in all my small engines and my generators. The diesel, I run, sometimes we'll run regular on-road diesel in it. Sometimes we'll run off-road diesel. And a lot of times I've got a lot of off-road diesel just because I got my Bobcat and my tractor. So we've always got red diesel here, and I'll just pour whatever I need, whatever I've got, I'll pour it in there. L2 Survive, can you run that with used vegetable oil or motor oil? I do not know. I need to get on. There's a website that these guys, I think it's Gridiron or Iron Grid. These guys talk about military surplus equipment, everything from generators to military trucks and everything in between. I need to get on there and look and see if you can do that. I have not done it and haven't tried it. I bet you could probably thin the diesel fuel down and mix a little bit of oil in the diesel fuel, and it would probably run okay. And then Bill Warner, my grandpa had an old generator / welder that was powered by an old 300 6-cylinder Ford, and that was a powerhouse. Man, I bet that thing was a powerhouse. I'd hate to feed the fuel to that thing, though. And Demo Man Don, I always shut the fuel off to stop my generators. Keeps the carb empty and no gunk. Yeah, exactly. So we got fuel. We've got the different types, everything like that. A lot of people look at it. If you're going into it, they're like, how big a generator do I need? Yeah, I know a lot of people are like, I want a whole house generator because I want to be able to run everything in my house. That would be nice if you're just talking about, a 1-day power outage, up to a week power outage. But a whole house generator is going to be going through some fuel. I mean, whether you got it set up on natural gas or you got it set up on propane, that thing, if you're running one of those things and running your whole house, it is going to consume some fuel. There's a guy we've done some work for. He's got it is a Kohler, and that thing it will run his whole house. He's got a massive house. Good morning, Chris Watkins. He's got a massive house. They put it in several years ago. They literally brought this thing in on a semi and had to have a crane to set it. It's probably I was over there the other day doing some stuff at his house, and I went and looked at it. It's at least 8 to 10 foot long, probably 3 foot wide, and somewhere around 4 foot tall. I do not know what size it is, but I do know it runs off propane, and he had a 1,000-gallon propane tank already for his house. And I was out there when they were putting it in. They said they had to put another 1,000-gallon tank just to be able to keep up with that and have enough pressure and enough volume to run that generator. So this guy's got that generator with two 1,000-gallon tanks buried beside it. And I saw the gas line. I think it's I would say, I didn't measure it, but it looks like a 2-inch gas line. 2-inch gas line going to that thing. I'm like, I would not want to be the one paying for that propane bill. So, yeah, Michael Hamilton and frost in the tank. And I was asking them, I'm like, does they really need that? And they were like, yeah, you got to have it. Newman, good morning. How's the weather out there? I bet you're hot as all get out, aren't you? So glad to see you in here. But all right. Sizing your generator. Like I was saying, most people are like, I want one that runs the whole house, but they don't think of the stuff they're actually going to run. My biggest generator that I've got is, I think it is an 8,000 watt generator, which is perfectly fine for what I want to do. I don't plan on running the whole house. When I built my house and wired it, we've got a plug out front that we can plug into. It's a 50 amp plug that we can plug in there. And then on the inside, I've got a manual transfer switch that I can switch, that I can flip off. And when we wired the house, we wired what we called emergency circuits. So we've got emergency circuits all through the house that like the fridges, there's some down here in the basement that I can plug my freezers into. There's a few spots, lights and stuff like that. My blower on my furnace, we're running propane. We're running a dual fuel system for the heat, which we're running a heat pump and propane. So if the power's out, all I need down in the basement to run for my furnace is to run the blower motor, which that's 110 volt. It's not going to pull that much. So we've got, we can run everything with a 8,000 watt generator and be comfortable running refrigerators, freezers. The heat, we could probably run a window air conditioner unit pretty easy with it. And also, look at it. You don't have to run everything all at once. If you've got 3 freezers, you don't have to run all those at once. You can run one, get it cool, unplug it, run the other one, and just keep going like that. Power is going to be your air conditioning, because then you're looking at 220 volts, 220, 240. And then also you're looking at your dryer. Your dryer, that's a 220. And then also your oven and your cooktop, if you're running on electric, that is 220 also. So, and then Michael, make sure that the neutral line is switched to. You don't want to fry the lineman. Yeah, Michael, I've got an actual transfer switch that we put in, and it's a manual deal that you actually have to go in there and flip that transfer switch, and it kills everything. And when we built this house, the electrical inspector inspected everything, so we're not going to fry the lineman, because he inspected everything and it's set and ready to go. So look at your critical items, what you want to run. Critical items for me that I have at my house are the refrigerators, the freezers, maybe a window air conditioning unit, and then stuff to recharge devices. So do the calculations, see what you need. Another thing that you might want to look at is if you've got a well pump. Most of your well pumps are going to be 220. So look at that. Make sure if you've got a well and it's 220 that you've got a 220 plug on that. Mike Shepard, are you driving? Mike, you should not be doing that if you're driving down here. Mike's supposed to be driving down to meet me here in about 25 minutes. So, but yeah, size your stuff. Look at what you need. You don't have to run everything at once. So size that generator up and look at it. And let's see some of these comments. All right. Chris Watkins, yes, LP and natural gas are efficient, but they use a lot of fuel. Yeah, you're going to get less output on natural gas or propane than you will with gasoline. So just take that in to consideration when you're looking at stuff. It's going to be that they rate all these generators on running gasoline or running diesel. If you go to natural gas or LP, your rating is going to be lower. And L2 Survive. When they put my inverters and batteries in, they asked me if I wanted what I wanted on the critical load panels. I said with two EG4 18Ks, I want it all. Yeah, exactly. So we've got essentially what we've got on my critical stuff. We've got the refrigerator upstairs. We've got lights in each room and a plug in each room. I've got a plug in the garage, and I've got two plugs down in the basement, and then the blower motor on my furnace is what we've got. That, and then I think there's a couple other things on there. I'd have to look. Me and my dad drew schematics, or really my dad drew a schematic out, and it's got everything labeled and all that stuff. If it wasn't so redneck and my wife would not fuss about it, I wanted to go through and change those plugs and put the red plugs in there like you see in the hospital where you got a red outlet and a red cover, and that stands for like your emergency power. I might sneak it in one day just when she's not here and see if she ever notices it. So Newman, 117 degrees today. Yes, I'm happy to see you on this Friday. Man, 117. We're going to be like, I think 85 today is what we're going to be. So I'm sorry you were sweating it out on that one. All right. Chris, a diesel engine generator will run long on 100 gallons. Yeah, I mean, that little military generator I've got, it says at 75% load, it's going to drink a third of a gallon an hour. So, I mean, 100 gallons, you're going to be running a long time with that joker. All right. And Mike has sent this, and he should not be doing this while he's driving. Mike says our Predator 8750 inverter generator runs our house and charges our solar batteries. Exactly. And Bill says, I've heard that here in Tennessee, it's against the law to have your solar hooked up to feed back to the grid. Bill, I don't know. I know that in Kentucky you can hook it up. You got to have a licensed electrician hook it up and everything, but you can backfeed your solar in, and actually the Warren Rural Electric will pay you for the power that you're producing. So I don't know if it's illegal in Tennessee or not. I know in Kentucky you can sell your power back to the power companies. I know they're not paying much, and you're not going to get rich doing it. Unlike the solar companies tell you that, oh yeah, you can do this and you can sell your energy back to the power company and they're going to pay for it. Which I've talked to one of my buddies and he's like, dude, I get like $20 a month or something, and he's got a big solar set up on his shop. And Chris moved over to YouTube from Facebook. And Mike said he's at 5-star. He's at 5-star eating gravy and biscuits. Man, I wished I had the life. Mike's just watching YouTube eating gravy and biscuits this morning, headed down here. So, hey, Loco's here, the Filipino nomad. I hadn't seen you in forever, man. Glad to have you here. All right, let's see. Yeah, Miss Sharon, remember to hit the thumbs up button. I appreciate it a bunch. Nathaniel, good morning. Bill says, does a grid down situation cut off natural gas supply? I tell you, it could. It depends. It depends on that. I know probably the biggest thing would be if we have an earthquake. An earthquake could rupture those natural gas lines, and they're going to cut the natural gas off. I mean, you're probably going to have leaks, all kinds of stuff. I would rather, if it was me, I would rather have propane instead of natural gas as far as a backup. If I could get natural gas here at my place, we would probably be running natural gas, but I would have propane for backups because natural gas usually stays on. I'm pretty sure down in Texas when it got cold, that that deep freeze that they had in Texas, the natural gas lines froze up and they weren't able to get natural gas there. So I like propane as opposed to natural gas. Let me see. And Chris Watkins, the engine will last longer on LP or natural gas. They run really clean, but they eat fuel like crazy. They have a natural gas bucket truck with over 50,000 miles, and the oil looks brand new, but they eat fuel. Yeah. And then Chris says, Bill, I think you need to talk to the power company first and get the paperwork. Yeah. You'll have to get the paperwork. A certified electrician will have to hook it up for you and all that stuff. And then Demo Man Don, they might not buy your power back, but it can offset your bill. That's how it is here. Yeah, exactly. So, and then Filipino Nomad, clickbait tonight was coffee, sushi, tempura, sake, and R with wife out of town with friends. Cool. Don't get in too much trouble with your wife being out of town. So, and then, all right, we'll get on with this. Fuel storage, whatever you're going to run, whether you're running gas, diesel, propane, make sure you got enough fuel stored for it and store it the right way. I mean, propane, you don't have any problems with it, storing it. As long as it's not leaking out or anything like that, that propane is going to stay good forever. Diesel fuel is going to store a super long time. As far as fuel storage, I've got quite a bit of diesel fuel stored. It's going to store a lot longer than gasoline. Gasoline, as far as storing it, I like to use non-ethanol gas, especially for storage. It's going to store a lot longer. I use a product, it's called PRI-G or -D. The G is for gasoline, the D is for diesel. Camping World, I bought it. We've got a big Camping World here, and I bought it at Camping World before, and it will actually refresh old fuel. So if I've got some fuel that I know I'm going to keep for a while, like if I go and get a 55-gallon drum filled up, I'll go ahead and pour the PRI-D or PRI-G in there, and whatever I'm using, and it lasts a long time. I like that stuff. So we're home now. Wife is settling in and out with rum and pineapple. That doesn't sound too awful bad. So, but yeah, fuel storage, whatever your generators are going to run on, make sure you've got enough fuel for that. I mean, if you're planning on a couple weeks for a power outage, make sure you've got enough fuel for that. So, and then maintenance. This is one of these things. Just like communications and medical stuff. It's not cool. It's not sexy for maintenance stuff, but it's stuff that's going to keep your generators working good. And then let's see, Bill, what's the generator consistency on a buried fuel tank for reserve fuel? Like a propane tank, Bill. Propane tank, yeah, you can bury those jokers and they're fine. But as far as I wouldn't want to have a diesel fuel or a gasoline tank buried. That's just my personal opinion. There's too much to go wrong. You're not going to know if you get a leak in it. I've got a 300-gallon gasoline tank in the fuel shed that's above ground, and I can tell if anything leaks on it, anything like that. And then also, if you're going to bury a gasoline or a diesel tank and it does leak and it leaks out and then the government finds out about it, you're going to have a buku of money cleaning that joker up because they're not going to be nice about that. My propane tank here at the house is above ground just because I didn't want to spend the extra money to buy a direct buried propane tank. And I was like, it's not worth the money to me. And when I buy another, I'm going to add a second propane tank to mine. I'm just going to do another above ground propane tank and be done with it. So personally, I don't like buried tanks. They're more expensive and stuff like that. Yeah, it's cool because you can conceal them and people don't know they're there. So, let me see. Chris Watkins, make sure that the valves are replaced and it's in good working order on your LP tanks. Yeah. So they typically, I own my tank. I own my propane tank. I bought it when I built a house because then I can choose what company I want to go with as far as getting propane, and then do it that way because so I'll call and check prices, and then I find the cheapest one. Typically, the cheapest one is the one that I've been using in the past, and the people I bought the tank from. But they'll come out every time they come and fill it up. They do a quick walkthrough, check the valves, all that kind of stuff to make sure it's good. So if you're going to do propane, find a nice reputable company that will do that stuff for you when they come out to fill it up. And Chris, gas and diesel tanks just need to be above the ground where you can gravity feed them. Yeah. I mean, that's the best thing. You don't have to worry about any power, anything like that. So if you've got them up elevated where you can gravity feed it. Churn Dash Farms. I want to put timers on fridges and freezers so they don't have to run all the time. So how long would it need to run them at time? So how long would it need to run them at a time? It depends. A lot of it depends on how much you're opening the refrigerator, how much you're opening the freezer. If you're not opening those freezers very much, it's going to stay cold a long time and it's not going to cycle very often. But if you're opening that refrigerator, that thing's going to cycle a bunch. I would honestly, if you look at it, you need to do it at least one cycle to get it cold. I would say at least run your refrigerator 30 to 45 minutes, and then you can go ahead and switch it off. And that's just spitballing, but I'd run it at least 30 minutes and do that maybe 30 minutes every 3 hours, something like that, depending on how much you're opening it and stuff like that. Your freezers, you're not going to run them near as long, especially if you're not getting in those, and especially a chest freezer, because the chest freezer, when you open it up, all the cold air doesn't fall out, unlike a vertical stand-up freezer, because once you open that door, all the cold air just falls right out of that. And then Bill says, I run my freezers and refrigerators through the cycle and then turn them off. And then Michael Osborne, our propane tanks are above. Generator does a self-test and run every week. Got to check the batteries, though. I had to replace mine this year. Thankfully, the generator told me I needed to. Exactly. Yeah, and Michael says, use a thermostat with a disconnect and go by temp and not time. And that's a good idea, Michael. And then Filipino Nomad, solar panels and DC in the vehicle for backup, with our Blue Yeti power station for the laptop, portable Wi-Fi unit in the apartment and on the road, hotel, etc. Yeah. Yeah, and Miss Sharon too, make sure you keep a temperature gauge on your fridge and freezer and check them. I've got to get some more of the alarms. They make some that run on Wi-Fi, and they make some that just give an audible tone if it starts getting above what you want it to go. I'm going to get the ones that run on Wi-Fi, so then that way I can check it with my phone if I need to, or my wife can check it, stuff like that. So, all right, back to this. Maintenance. Maintenance is not sexy like, everything else. It gets kind of bastardized with medical and communications and stuff like that. It's just not cool and sexy. But if you're not going to maintain your generator, you're not going to have power. That thing's going to crap out on you, and it's just not going to work. So one of the biggest things on the maintenance is run your generator. I typically like to run them once a month and run them under a load. Don't just start them up and let them idle. Run them, start them up, let them warm up, and put a good-sized load on these things for like 15 to 20 minutes. Then that way, it's going to work. It's putting out power. And the guys always say to run this under a load, because if you're not running it under a load, it's really not doing any good. So run that generator under load. What you want extra too, and I know a lot of people don't think about some of the stuff like this. They're like, I've got my generator and I've got 10 gallons of gas. I'm good. That's cool. You need extra oil. You need extra filters for it. You need extra spark plugs, and you need extra air filters. So get all that stuff. I mean, it's dirt cheap to go buy. I mean, your generator's not going to take that much oil. Go buy a case of oil and have the case of oil sitting there. go buy extra spark plugs. Have 2 or 3 spark plugs sitting there. Have a couple extra air filters in there. They're not that expensive. Also have some extra fuel filters. All this stuff is not super expensive stuff to have. And also, I will tell you, have some extra fuel line. Look at your generators, see what size fuel line they take. Go to the hardware store and buy, I mean, heck, you could buy 15 feet of fuel line, roll it up, put a zip tie on it where it doesn't go anywhere. And for next to nothing, you could have fuel line for, for years and years and years. And I only say this because that diesel generator did, the fuel lines cracked on it, and I had to replace the fuel lines. So keep some fuel lines in there. Also, one extra thing that you might not think of, have extra rope if it's a pull start generator. Have some extra rope to where if your rope breaks, you can take the joker apart, put a new pull rope on it, and go. So also have the manual for it. Have a spot to where I've got a spot where most of my manuals for everything are at, to where if I need to look at something, I can go in there, grab the manual for this generator and look and see, what I need to do on it. Also, I've got on that military diesel generator, I found online, and the military has got crazy amounts of stuff online, but I found the whole manual for that generator. And I started looking at it. It has everything. This manual has everything. The military manual has everything. Essentially, you can tear that whole unit down, rebuild all of it. It tells you all the maintenance, every part, everything on this. And I was like, this thing is massive. And I was like, I'm going to print it out. And it takes up 2 3-inch binders. It took several hours to print all that. I think it's probably like 600 pages on this manual, but it's freaking awesome. And I've got it sitting down in it's sitting down here in the basement with a bunch of my other manuals, but I got the manual on how to do anything with that generator. So get your manuals, print the manual out online, print a couple copies and have them sitting there. And Chris Watkins, they need to be checked every 8 hours of runtime. Yeah, exactly. Or even a carb rebuild kit for your engine. Hey, that would be a good thing. Have a carb rebuild kit where you can do it, or at least know how to clean your carburetor if you need to. Filipino Nomad, I have a small battery-powered LCD temperature humidity gauge with a magnet on the fridge. Yeah, Amazon or Temu. Michael, 550 cord is a good field expedient replacement for the pull cord. Yeah, I've got one. Actually, one of my generators has 550 cord on it, and I've just never replaced it with the proper cord. And Mike Shepard, I use paracord to replace the pull cord for temporary use. Exactly. And Bill, those maintenance items I keep in a specific tote for the generator only. 2 gallons of oil, a pack of 12 spark plugs, air filters, and some paracord to replace starter rope. Exactly. And then the last thing on it, once you get your generator and you figured out how big you want it, what you want to run on all that, now it's putting foot to butt and it's nut cutting time. Turn the power off, fire your generator up, plug the items in that you want to run, and see how it's going to do running those items. So see what you've got to do. Practice with all this stuff. Yeah, your wife and kids might be mad that you've turned the power off, but do it. Turn the power off for a little while. Plug your refrigerator, your freezers in. If you want to run your air conditioning, get your air conditioning going. See how it's going to go. But all the items that you plan on using for this generator, get those things and make sure that generator is going to work. And do it now to where you don't have to worry about it when the grid's down, and not just a grid down. You've got a tornado, something like that, an ice storm. You want to know that this stuff is going to work when you don't really have to have it, and practice right now. So that's the biggest thing, is just get it, try it out, and do that. And then Chris says, ONA has complete manuals online for engine and generator parts. Yeah, and this ONA, that military one, it's a single cylinder ONA, and that is the craziest manual. I'll have to pull that out and show y'all sometime. But it's literally like 2 3-inch binders full of everything. It shows how to tear that whole deal down, rebuild all of it, all your part numbers, all that kind of stuff. It's insane. And Michael Hamilton, load start is the hardest on the generator set. Yeah, exactly. Like your refrigerators, they got the startup on that motor is going to draw a lot of power just on the startup, and then it's going to come back down. So yeah, it is. Don't plug everything in at once on your generator, because it's going to peak out, and your generator's probably not going to handle it if everything comes on right at the same time. So watch that. But guys, I hope you got something good out of this. I tell you what, once this is over, please leave me a comment and tell me what you would like to talk about on Tuesday. Give me a couple topics. Leave it in the comments after the live is over. One, that'll tell me what y'all want to talk about on Tuesday. And two, it helps the algorithm the more comments I get on stuff. But guys, I appreciate it. Don't forget, July 30th, next Monday, we'll be on with William Bond, permaculture consultant. And then the 1st, we're going to do the drawing for the refuge class. So if you do not have your tickets, get your tickets between now and the end of the month to be registered for that class. We have the only ticket left for the refuge class, and somebody that has bought tickets in June is going to win that thing. And then also the 1st, July 1st, we're going to do a quick live to do the drawing for the refuge ticket. And Newman, yes, William is awesome. I so enjoy talking to William, and I'm glad to say William and I are friends. If I need something, I got a question, it's awesome to have a friend like William, because I call and talk to him. I've talked to William about everything from compost to MacBooks, and the kid knows his stuff, and I am glad to be a friend of his and glad to know that guy. And then, Bill, my biggest issue here is that I have 2 disabled widows within 100 feet of my house, and I want to be able to help them with power outage situations. Yeah. Bill, if you're within 100 feet, you could run, a 10 gauge 100-foot cable goes a long way. I tell you that. You can run quite a bit of load off a 10 gauge cable. So look at getting some 10 gauge extension cords. With my construction company, I've got several 10 gauge cords. One of them is for my floor grinder, that it takes a 10 gauge cord, and really I've got the cord, the plug-ins. It takes a special plug-in for the grinder. So I've got another regular end for it that I can just swap off in a matter of 5 minutes and do it. But look at some 10 gauge cords if you're going to be running, 100 feet or better and running multiple stuff off that cord. And then Chris, yes, they will throw your breakers on your generator. Yeah, for sure. Filipino Nomad, also a small voltage amp, LCD gauge, USB power with 2-prong outlet, adapter plug to check circuit and appliances. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Miss Sharon. That's William's YouTube channel, permaculture consultant. He'll be on with us Monday. Awesome guy. Y'all need to tune in for that. And then Newman, William is a testament to Billy and Michelle, his parents. They raised their son right. Exactly. It is. Yeah, I am happy to call William a friend. I love that guy and glad that we're friends. So, guys, check it out. Leave a comment after the live is over. Post a comment what y'all want to talk about on Tuesday. And I think Mike Shepard is here, so we're going to go get some work done. Guys, y'all have an awesome weekend, and I will see y'all Monday night with William. Have a good weekend. See you.